Speed generation on your backside. Let's get you making speed, right? It's just like front side, but different. Because suddenly now we're driving off of our heels. As you go through this, I want you to envision a wave. Because again, flat ground speed generation does not translate to the water. So as you do these drills, I want you, this is the goofy footer version, envision a wave. Because we're trying to interact with the bottoms and the tops and this tapered wall of a wave. So as you see me do this movement, does it make sense now? I'm now backside speed pump trying to unweight and lift up a wave towards the top. And then at the top, once the unweighting, the inertia up stops because gravity's pulling me down, I then compress back down. Yes, sometimes that back heel will slightly lift as you compress down, but usually that's not going to happen as much on the backside. Kind of when we practice like this, it'll happen, but once you're in the water, because we need to keep those heels firmly planted, because on our backside, at the bottom, as we drive, we would actually be driving off the heel, right? My toes would come up. So what's happening here at my back foot isn't quite totally accurate. And once you get on your surf skate, or on a wave, you're going to feel that. So you can see how I'm trying to weight and unweight, and I've got this compression extension coil, and it looks like I'm rotating because I'm trying to interact with a three-dimensional wave with trajectory going down the line. Again, please just be aware of the difference from speed wiggle on flat ground versus what I'm doing. I think it's pretty self-apparent, but maybe not. So envision the wave, right? Because then you can see how I'm trying to interact. Flat ground, not ideal, but what you're going to start seeing, I compress down. Imagine I'm at bottom of a wave, right? It's all up here. Here's this sloping shoulder. How good is that wave? I just killed that. That's so good. Boom. It's a sick wave. So now I compress. Notice how I'm kind of compressing and I'm starting to drive onto my heels, because we have to engage the heel side rail of the surfboard or the heel side rail of the skateboard. I then unweight and project up. So at the bottom, I kind of push and then unweight. It's almost like I'm pushing to then jump, because I want to kind of drive and press to set that rail and set it so it then starts getting pulled up the wave by the water drawing up the wave face. And if my full weight is on top of that board, it can't get lifted up. So this is why you have to unweight. Now with the road, ideally this road has a slight decline. So if this is flat road, it's maybe like a 5-degree difference, 10 at the most, because then gravity will just kind of help feed you some speed down. In an ideal world, you're on a road that isn't totally flat, but it's more of a V. That's a real exaggerated one, where the middle of the road's a little higher, it slopes down. So not only is the road sloping down gradually as you go along it, but it's got this slope on each side, because then you can interact with this side or this side as if it's a wave, right? This being the top of the wave, this being the bottom. So whether you're goofy or natural footer, you kind of have some angle to start to work with. So on the ramp, still flat ground, compress, extend, don't worry, you natural footers, we'll get to you. So now I can start feeling what it's like on a wave with a bit of a ramp. Unweight, you see how I drive off my heels, but you can see I'm starting to extend. Be a coil and then come out of it. Unweight, almost like I'm trying to jump up. Because I just made a little speed at the bottom, a little drive, but then I'm trying to unweight it and propel myself upwards. Think about being on a bicycle, and if you were trying to jump up a ramp, go off a ramp, you'd kind of pull up on it. You'd unweight it to help. You're not trying to drive it down, right? You're trying to help it lift. Unweight, compress down. Here I drive off my heels, right? Oh, I don't even know how I just zoomed. That's perfect. To engage the heel side rail of the board. So if this was a surfboard, it would be like this right now. This being the toe side rail, this being the heel side rail, engaging that heel side rail. Unweight. You see how I'm coordinated the entire body. Arm position, coil, front on. Everything is coordinated. Ooh, a little wrap. Compress, extend. So it's not, there is a rotation, but it's not me wiggle twisting. It's me momentum forward and coming out of compression extension while trying to down a wave, up a wave, so there automatically then has to be some semblance of rotation because we're trying to do this with the board, right? It's weighting and unweighting. It's this vertical movement with a bit of rotation, not flat ground, just wiggle. You natural footers ready for it? Woo! Compress and extend. Weight, unweight. So, again, practice on flat ground. It's almost like this shovel. Boom. Up, down. Envision a wave. Imagine this sick. Things topping out, about to get shacked. No. And then interacting with those curvatures. Get the feel on flat ground, and then take it to the skateboard on flat ground. Again, hopefully the road has a little bit of a decline, so we can start driving off the heels, unweighting. Do you see how much of a spring I am? Look at that. Who's talking about that coil? What you know about that spring, bruh? You're going to see these things keep coming up over and over. That initial stance position allows for everything else to move, to be a spring, to rotate efficiently. Compress, extend, compress, extend, compress, extend. A little more rhythmic, a little more rhythmic, a little road going downhill. Just repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. As you drive off those heels there, those wheels kind of like dig in, release speed, dig in, release speed. Onto the ramps. So a little speed coming down. Now, I set the heels. I set that backside bottom turn, right? If it was a real big backside bottom turn, I'd try to come up and whack it. This, I'm just trying to make a little speed, just woo, woo, woo. You hear that voice? What am I doing with these noises? Weight, unweight, weight, uh-oh. Spring, just saying, just saying. Weight, unweight. You can see here, down. So here it's just like the weight you get when you're dropping in a wave. It's the same thing. Compress, ride down, make speed. Dropping in a skateboard on a ramp. Now I lean onto those heel side rails, right? Because I'm starting to turn my torso. Starting to get that back arm going. So that shifts my weight. If I start to twist my upper body, it shifts my weight onto the heels, therefore the heel side rail. So that's why your arms really need to start coordinating with your speed generation, because that arm movement, matching arms, changes the shoulder line, therefore it changes the torso, and you start getting everything directionally oriented. Compress, extend. Heel, unweight. Heel, compress, unweight. You see how it's all coordinated with the arms, torso, eyes. That is how you start making speed on a wave or on a surf skate. Hopefully you got a sloped ramp or something with a little bit of downgrade in that hill or the road. Learn how to compress and extend and make speed efficiently.